Welcome in this Tuesday edition, Oxford Exxon Podcast. Blue Sky Live here with you this morning. Chase Parham, Neal, McCready, Clark Ford Studio, Lane Kiffin with interesting press conference yesterday at the Manning Center. We'll go over that a little bit and discuss some other topics with you as well this morning. The World Series potentially down to one game. The LA Dodgers moved to a 4-2 win over New York last night, moved to a 3-0 lead in the series, and they can close it out tonight there at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. So that and more coming up on a show brought to you every day by the Oxford Exxon and all Blue Sky locations around the state of Mississippi, up and down I-55 throughout North Mississippi. They've got Sweet Daddy's locations all over the state. With those, you get the ribs, you get the pulled pork, get side items, desserts. They take care of catering, tailgating. Ole Miss back when they're home game against Georgia next week. Found out that's at 2:30. We'll talk about that a little bit too as we go through the show today. So again, all Blue Sky locations, including here locally in Oxford, and again coming to you from the Clark Ford Studio.
We are. Clark Ford is in Amory, Mississippi. 662-257-1900 is the number. Call it. Ask for Corey Clark. Tell Corey what Ford product you're looking for. He'll send you a quote within 15 minutes in business hours. Right to the bottom line. No hassle, no haggle. You get your quote. The rest is up to you. You can shop it around. You can do what I've done, what I recommend that you do, and that's hop into a Clark Ford today. You'll love the product. You'll love the service. Corey and the people at Clark Ford, they want to be your car guy. They want to be your truck guy. They'll prove to you what that means when you make the call. 662-257-1900. Guests join on the Campbell Clinic hotline. From fractures and sports injuries to complex spine and limb conditions, the pediatric orthopedic physicians at Campbell Clinic in Oxford are the only specialized pediatric orthopedic team in North Mississippi providing expert care for growing bodies. Visit CampbellClinicOxford.com to schedule an appointment or call 901-759-3111.
A lot of activity in the live stream going on this morning. I'll try to catch up on that as we're talking, see if it's anything relevant. I see everything from Taylor Swift concert reviews to World Series to plenty more as well.
I see people do the take my man card thing away. I know Taylor's joking, but look, that many people show up for something. There's something to it. It's why, it's anytime you see massive crowds at something consistently, there's something there that resonates every single time. And so there's something about her music, her performances or whatnot, because you get all the music snobs that go, she's mid. All right, well then how come the people that you say are so awesome can't fill up a little bar and she can fill up the Superdome? There's something there. And it's like when people go, there's nothing to like the Trump stuff. It's like 75,000 people standing outside of Madison Square Garden. There's something happening there. You can disagree with it, but there's something happening there. And so I think the Swift thing is fascinating because there's something about her
that resonates beyond music, obviously, and
globally,
culture and
globally,
everything.
Yes. When people turn that into I don't mean this in any derisive way at all. When they turn her concert into a 3 or 4 day vacation, New Orleans is a tourist place. People go to New Orleans. When even that is like noteworthy to New Orleanians, it's interesting to me. And it happens everywhere. She goes to Amsterdam and it's packed for 4 straight shows. She goes to Paris, London, Barcelona, New York, New Orleans. There's something there. It's why, again, it's as we finally get to the end of this political thing, thank God, in a week, when you see all these people packed in rallies, there's the mainstream media can criticize it, but yet there's something about that message that resonates with those people. Otherwise, they wouldn't go stand there for 9 hours. People wouldn't go vacation in New Orleans for 3 days and pay thousands of dollars for Taylor Swift tickets if it didn't do something that resonated with them on
an emotional level,
almost spiritual level.
You're being affected by something, whether it be emotions or mentality or whatever is involved with that. It is. I assume that most people go into her concerts, appreciate the music, but it far reaches outside of the music. It is something that is identifying with it.
Sure.
Whatever you want to make of that. Again, that's up to you.
I laugh at music snobs. They're the funniest people to me.
Well, we've always done that. We've always done the, oh, God, can you believe that won the Grammy because that's whatever. Or either they go way overboard and go, hey, we've got to give the Grammy to somebody nobody's ever heard of. And it's like, well, okay.
Well, I used to laugh like in college. It was one of the first times that I was like, this, I, I'm probably not. I don't fit. Is people will be like, oh, we got to go to this bar. There's this band coming, so you'd go and you'd listen to them. Like, I don't think they're very good. They don't do anything for me, nothing. And everybody's like, oh, this is awesome, and I'm like, no, I don't really think it is at all. And so then they'd be like, they'd make fun of the mainstream stuff, and I'm like, but there's a reason it's mainstream. I mean, I like it. It's good. It's funny to me. That's all. I'm not. It's not a criticism, but like the whole, hey, let's go to this random bar and see this random band and pretend that they're awesome. I've never. That's just never been my thing, and I almost kind of laugh at it because I think it's forced.
Well, I mean, I have a hard time with it because I mean, I've admitted this the entire time, and I don't know what it comes from. There are people that believe their prematurity comes into it, but I'm fairly tone deaf. Like I like music. There are things that I like, enjoy. There's certain whatevers, but I think there's certain beats and rhythms and melodies that I simply do not pick up in a appreciative way because I'm very, very, very tone deaf. I can't keep a beat. I can't do anything. It's something about the way I'm built, and it affects how I listen to music. I mean, it plays into, we talk about it all the time. I listen to podcasts when I run because I don't get the beat and the movement of music to listen to music. I just get bored.
Yeah.
So it's completely different. And yeah, sure. I mean, that's not the point. I mean, yeah, there are good bands in bars. That's not the point. It's the disparaging of the mainstream to do that.
100%.
Yes, of course. Yes, there are people that never get that chance or that luck or that whatever or whatnot. I mean, that's. And I mean, it's funny. I mean, right here, I mean, your mom, again, not Judy, but your mom in the stream says, no one can sit here and tell me Post Malone is good. I posted a Bourbon South this morning. Steve, my co-host, 60-year-old man who's a former federal agent, just got back from the Post Malone concert this past weekend and raved about it. Had a blast. People in strokes, and you have your things. If I don't like it, nobody else, by God, better like it either. That's actually where we're going.
I'm married to, I don't think Laura cares if I tell her age at this point. I'm married to a 51-year-old conservative white woman who loves Post Malone. And if she could vote for Trump 25 times, she would.
Yeah.
So
stuffing ballots. That's what I'm saying.
I mean,
is that what you're saying?
She probably would if she thought that it was worthwhile and could get away with it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she was not crazy about my Ron DeSantis standing over the course of the last couple of years.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Even Ron was not?
No, she was a Trump guy. Person.
Yeah. She want to do the live stream next week?
No.
Okay.
No.
When you're unavailable, I was just asking. I was curious.
I mean, we didn't get back from soccer till 9 last night. So by the time we get back, and that was a mercy rule game. I mean, it's just going to be so late. It's not doable.
How'd it go?
We won big.
Okay. Did they look how you would hope they would look? Look good?
Yeah, we look good.
Okay.
Yeah, we look good. We're fast.
Okay.
A lot of speed. It's a really cool.
Fast is good when it comes to soccer.
We have a lot of speed.
Okay.
And a lot of guys that have worked hard to get faster.
Yeah.
And then it was just cool to play in the new part. Mm-hmm. It was really neat. Actually looked like soccer as opposed to the confusion of playing soccer on a football field where the
lines and everything.
The lines just don't make sense sometimes. It's kind of hard to tell. And
Avery says she'll do it. Holler at me. Never know. Shoot me a message. I've got one for you. Where do you stand on this? We seem to be in flux this morning. So where do you fall as someone who is out of that phase completely, but has been in a popular neighborhood for a long time, moving Halloween because of weather? Or the trick-or-treating, at least. Where are you at on this?
I'm fine with it, but we need to make sure that we're communicating properly because I don't want a double dose of...
See, so the situation here locally is there's rain expected on Thursday. It appears to be going down. It was at 100% with even some hail last week, what it was predicting way out on an extended forecast for Thursday. But then today, I think I'm seeing around 60, 70%. Still rain, still just on Thursday. Nothing else looks like it's popping Wednesday or Friday. The city came out with a tweet yesterday, which they do every year. Oxford as a city does not move Halloween. They said that Halloween is October 31st and it will remain 31st regardless of weather or any other activity.
Okay.
Neighborhoods, however, that have kids that don't want to miss Halloween begin talking and having their own their own bit of discussions as far as how to politic this. And I'm hearing as time goes on that it's very likely, or at least I actually heard one major neighborhood in town has already moved it to Wednesday. I know my neighborhood is considering moving it to Wednesday. There's several other neighborhoods that are considering Wednesdays, but we're not going to get a full effort. Like I think Oxmoor over here did last weekend, even like Sunday night or something. Like I think so. Yeah, I'm good on moving it because I do think some flexibility when it's going to be weather and you have people that are getting costumes and upset kids and all this kind of stuff. It's worth doing. But yeah, it's already Tuesday at 8:30. If we're going to tomorrow, we better get to getting. It's time to make that very well known and try to get everybody involved in this thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm cool with moving it up. That's fine. But if that happens, I really don't want the stragglers on Thursday. And I just don't know how you can communicate that in a day.
What are y'all doing, Avery, down there? Are y'all moving it? Do you stay as planned or what? Yeah, Brian, you can save your money. I have no freaking idea of any song by that artist. None. You do not have to pay $200. You gotta have to pass
Lucci.
go.
I don't know why.
Got
I
nothing.
Lucci either.
Got nothing. Tupelo says he's knows we're past it, but concerts in the majority stress him out. Can't hear anything and leave with a headache.
I'm fine with concerts. Like I go to concerts sometimes and I like them, but like if I don't see one for a year, I'm not like having withdrawals or anything.
Yeah, as Jay says, Oxmoor always does the Sunday before. Correct.
Oh,
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I run in Oxmoor a good bit, and they love them some Halloween, which is good. I enjoy the distraction on the run.
Yeah,
there's a handful of yards in Oxmoor that went all in.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Well done.
We are very close to 10,000. If you're in the stream, if you're listening to this in podcast form, do me a favor and just go hit the subscribe button. You can turn the bell off. I don't care about the bell. I don't care if it pops up in your feed. Just please do me a favor and hit the subscribe button. You really appreciate it. Well, I would appreciate that. MPW Digital on the YouTube feed. Avery says her neighborhood's starting a coup, but the city is keeping it on Thursday. Yeah, there are coups popping up here locally today, it appears.
From a governmental standpoint, it would be far easier just to go, hey, it's Thursday. Because I don't know how you communicate in this era.
No, so you just go, it is what it is. And you let the neighborhoods do whatever they want to do. And
there was a day when everyone would have gotten the local Oxford Eagle, and that's over.
Not everybody's on Twitter. Not everybody's on Facebook.
Well, most people aren't on Twitter.
And even if you get the 10 neighborhoods that have the most trick-or-treaters, you're still, I mean, that South Lamar area is huge for trick-or-treating. You got to get it. And I know some people are going, why Wednesday and not, why Wednesday and not Friday? It's fair. It's a completely fair thing.
Well, you have
I don't know.
High school football on Friday.
Oxford has a home game Friday night. They actually have senior night Friday night.
In general.
Yeah. I don't know what Lafayette is doing Friday with their football team, but I know Oxford has senior night Friday night.
Yeah.
They play Lewisburg. So, yeah, I'm sort of been hearing it from everywhere this morning as we get going. I'm just curious thoughts, what everybody's doing, how to handle this.
It's not been a topic of conversation in my house.
I didn't assume so. You're not dressed as Charlie Brown, handing out candy tomorrow?
No.
Do you miss the phase?
No.
You don't miss trick or treat phase?
I have nothing against it, but no, it's not something I don't think
that's not one of the things you lament being over?
No. I'm fine with it, but no.
Yeah, I mean, Stacy says it here, and that is the problem in a lot of neighborhoods. She says, and again, not a problem they come in, just a problem with logistics. She says problem with moving is we have lots of cars that come that don't necessarily live in the neighborhood, and they're probably coming on Thursday either way.
Yeah. Will people trick or treat in the rain?
Well, I mean, I'm not going to walk around the neighborhood in a thunderstorm.
Make it more spooky. I mean, it would.
Okay. I mean, kind of runs the purpose past the outfits, though, and the costumes when we're having to put
Make it spooky.
European rain gear on to make sure we're not.
If you had thunder and lightning and stuff, people would go, ooh, this is kind of creepy, as opposed to just walking around 5 o'clock before the sun goes down. And shouldn't we move, like, I know this is sacrilegious.
Whoa, where we going? Whoa.
If we're
Hold
gonna do the daylight savings time thing, move it up a week before Halloween. That way it's dark at Halloween.
Well, then it wouldn't be Hallows Eve.
Just saying.
It's being very pragmatic. I mean,
the people that lose their minds.
I mean, I get Big Dumb Ski Bump says moving holidays is dumb. I don't necessarily disagree, but I like Halloween. I don't want it to be ruined by the freaking weather on Thursday night. Like, I really like this night. I do not want to just lose it because it rains for the one time in 6 months. It's weird. I'm not really passionate about it, but I'm just...
You seem passionate about it.
Well, I mean, common sense, okay? I feel like this is a common sense part. Like, let's just figure out a way to communicate. Let's alter it. It's not going to rain. Let's have a good time. Let me make my chili. Let me see all the cute kids in the costumes.
Might be a day late to do it now. I think if you were going to move it, you needed to move it on Sunday or Monday. I don't know that you can announce sometime Tuesday that, hey, Halloween's tomorrow. I don't know that you can communicate that effectively. Because if you were going to do that, you needed to do that at the schools today.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the whole school district has to get involved in it, where they send out the email to all the elementary school kids. Hey, we're moving Halloween up to Wednesday.
Yeah, heads up. Municipality-wide, here we are. Here's what we're doing. But again, I mean, Oxford has never... I don't think they've ever done that. I think it's always stayed from a city announcement standpoint on the 31st. Yeah, no, still walk the houses. It's not just trunk or treat. There are some trunk or treats, but those are secondary to the actual Halloween.
Is that the people that pull up in the cars?
Yeah, you have a bunch of cars somewhere, like in a parking lot, and you just walk the trunks.
Oh.
Yeah. Like a lot of churches do it. The police station did it. Like, we have trunk or treats in town, but those are all typically the week before.
I was today years old.
Oh, really?
Missed that one.
Well, that plays into the fact that my daughter has every year, give or take, 6.5 Halloween costumes. So there's a bit of their wardrobe changes throughout the week and the month and the season. So I would like for the rain not to kill the holiday. That's all I'm saying. And I'm sort of fascinated to see how everyone is doing it and how everyone is either just letting it be or.
So if it's going to pour down rain on Thanksgiving, should we move it to Wednesday?
Do you outside and walk around the neighborhood on Thanksgiving to make sure that is that the key part of the holiday is to walk around outside in the rain?
Just asking.
Is that the way that works?
No, I hope the kids get to enjoy Halloween.
No, you're wanting to kill the whole thing. You want trick or treating to be banned, is what Neal was saying. That's what he's saying. He wants all the trick or treating to be banned.
In our house, we fight
Thinks
this.
Costumes are offensive.
In our house, we fight this every year. Laura goes and buys about $30 worth of candy and goes, "That's it." And I'm like, "That's not going to be enough." And then we're digging through the pantry, handing out Nutri-Grain bars,
staplers and razors, and
I mean, just whatever. Here's some potato chips.
That's not bad. Little Pringles thing.
No, I mean, those out. Here's some goldfish. So, I wish everyone the best. I think they've probably crossed the Rubicon of how long you can go and get this done. I don't want 2 trick-or-treat nights.
Your neighborhood has moved to tomorrow.
Is that right?
That's what I was just told live right now.
How about that?
You have been moved to Wednesday for your trick-or-treating.
Good. That's good. I'm glad this has been communicated. So Thursday, I'm turning the lights out.
Well, but you'll have some people still come in on Thursday.
Not
they didn't get the memo.
Not doing it. And then I'll have a very pissed off wife. No, Wednesday's good. That way I can do that. I'll do hand raise guys Thursday at 5 o'clock for an hour and a half and listen to her scream every time the doorbell rings.
Yeah, so if anybody's listening and hasn't been given this, I am told that multiple neighborhoods in town have switched to Wednesday. The ones that have announced their switch are Grand Oaks, Wells Gate, Highlands, and North Point to date.
Power to the people.
Yes, to date, that is where where we are apparently. Again, this is 8:34 a.m. on Tuesday morning.
If it were just a neighborhood thing, it'd be easy, but it's all the people, the outsiders that come in looking for their candy fix. If you're going to do it on Wednesday. Don't do it on Thursday.
It's one day soon. It's true. One day sooner. Halloween will be over on Wednesday, so you can put the tree up on Thursday. It can be Christmas on Thursday now.
Laura,
November 1st. Time to go. Time to get it going.
So I'm leaving Friday. I think she decided not to, but at one point over the weekend, she said, "Hey, I need you to go up in the attic this week and pull everything down so I can decorate." And I was like, "Really?" Kind of hoping that was just an urge that passed. Because I was like, there's an open date in 2 weeks. We can just do it then.
No, that's too late.
There's a 0% chance that she makes it to Thanksgiving without putting up a tree.
Oh, you have no shot.
0%.
No, because you got that bye week, so
that's the end date. That's the latest it's going up.
Old Oaks, CJ says, also added to the Wednesday trick or treating in Oxford. So look, hey, we're public servicing around this joint this morning. That's another. My neighborhood has not made a decision yet, per my wife, who's supplying this information.
Oh, that's your source.
One of them, yes. So it appears that we're still in the planning process.
Feels like everyone's shifting towards Wednesday.
Yes, well, yeah, because like once the ball gets rolling, you almost look weird when you don't switch. Then,
yeah, but once you decide you're switching, you're switching.
That's what I mean. Like if like 10 neighborhoods go, yeah, it's Wednesday, and somebody goes, nope, by God, we're Thursday.
So if you transition to Wednesday, that detransitioning to Thursday is going to be painful.
Yeah. No, you're in on Wednesday. And if that front moves up and it rains all day Wednesday, then you just are.
Oh, that's when you played with fire.
You did.
Played with fire. And when Thursday night the weather is perfect, that's the Halloween god saying, mess with us, see what happens.
Lafayette is at New Hope on Friday, Adam says in the stream. So Lafayette not home for their game on Friday.
Oh, okay.
But again, any parent wouldn't be around. Like
you don't move it to Friday. Fridays, unless it falls on Friday. And frankly, when it's fallen on Friday, it feels like people have moved it. That's why I'm a little skeptical of the Oxford. Listen, at the risk of further pissing off people in Oxford government, are we really sure that Oxford on nights when Halloween is falling on a Friday, they didn't move it?
I don't know.
Because it feels like they may have moved it.
Really?
This is not a hill I'm willing to die on. I don't care. But it kind of feels like they've moved it before.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. They sent out a tweet yesterday, the city, that said, boo, Halloween, it's October 31st. This does not change due to weather or day of the week.
Okay. I'm not going to file a FOIA because the last time I filed a FOIA, people got all worked up. But I'm skeptical.
Okay. Anything else on Halloween dates before I move on?
No, I'm good.
You good?
Yeah.
You sure?
Oh, I'm positive.
I mean, you got something else? I'll give you time.
No, I'm good with it.
Okay. So let us know. Update wherever you got going on. We'll go from there. We'll probably do more Halloween stuff tomorrow. Probably a bit of a candy show. We'll need it on Wednesday, so that's something you look forward to tomorrow on the on the stream.
That's gonna piss off the hardcores.
It'll be all right.
Oh, I'm not worried about it. Okay. It'll be fine.
All right, we'll be back in a minute. First, Spark, the fastest, most reliable fiber internet option available. Whether you're streaming the Rebels or connecting with family and friends, Spark offers both residential and business packages with speeds up to 2 gigabits. To learn more, register for service, visit AnySpark.com. That's AnySpark. Get connected. Stay local.
Let's see. We're brought to you by Comer Heating and Air, Southern Air Conditioning and Heating. Speaking of hand raised, guys, we'll have something on Thursday. I don't know exactly what that will be, given all of the Halloween scheduling conflicts. But different names, same great people, products, and services. If you live in Oxford, Batesville, Tupelo, or the surrounding area, call our friends at Comer, 662-801-1777. If you live in Hernando, Memphis, South Haven, or the surrounding areas, call Southern, 662-429-4429. I'll have a post-game column to you Saturday from Fayetteville that's brought to you by Window Hero. from window cleaning to pressure washing, gutter cleaning, gutter guards, everything in between. Window Hero has the experience, equipment, and expertise to make your property look and feel brand new. Get in touch with Roby and Susan Allen. They just got something new just yesterday that's really cool. That's going to be a game changer. So get in touch with them and start building a relationship with them at Window Hero 662-510-7077 or windowhero.com. I'll have a notebook to you on Saturday afternoon as well. That's brought to you by Dead Soxy. You can still take advantage of Dead Soxy's fall sale. Get 25% off all site-wide socks, everything on the site, NIL, everything, whatever you're looking for, 25% off with the code Rebel Grove. I'll have a notebook to you today from football. It's brought to you by Southern Q Sauce, Craft Barbecue Sauce. I've told you about the sauce. Don't forget about the rubs. They have a collection of rubs that are fantastic. Old Smoky, Honey Pecan, the Clucker, the Longhorn. Whether you're a professional pitmaster or an occasional backyard chef, Southern Q Sauce has the sauces and rubs to have your friends and family coming back for more. It's southernqsauce.com. Discount code Rebel Grove for 15% off your order. We're also brought to you by Rustic Revivals. I'll have an MPW Digital Extra to you on Thursday. He's going to have several guests. Andy Staples is joining. Mason Choate from the Arkansas Rival site. Ben Mintz, and then another one, too, that's going to be a really fascinating interview that I'm conducting today. I think you'll enjoy it. They're brought to you by Rustic Revivals. Based out of Flowood, Mississippi, Rustic Revivals builds table and other furnitures by hand with locally sourced lumber. The husband and wife team of Josh and Ashley Pierce specialize in custom-ordered tables, beds, dressers, coffee tables, bookshelves, decorative cabinets, chairs, and more. They have a limited selection of ready-for-pickup pieces available in their shop. Rustic Revivals delivers within 250 miles of Flowood. Podcast listeners can get 20% off their purchase by using the code Rebels20. It's rusticrevivalsms.com. You can check them out on Facebook or Instagram as well. And you can also call them directly, 228-217-1243, or you can email them at rusticrevivals@gmail.com.
Podcast is brought to you by the Citizens Bank. You're not just an account number, but a valued member of their community. And now if you find yourself in the market for a mortgage, another reason to give them a try. Wilt Wilson, who many of you know in the mortgage space, now with the Citizens Bank and ready to help you with your real estate goals. Stop by and visit. That's 902 Sisk Avenue, Suite E in Oxford. Discuss your options with Witt or any of their experienced bankers who value your unique financial journey. And while you're in there, ask about the School Spirit debit cards. You can donate an amount per every transaction to the local school of your choice, whether it's Oxford, Lafayette, or Regents. That is the Citizens Bank, PHILA.com. Yeah, I'm excited to get a bit of an update. Avery in the stream says Reese's with a bullet, but I'm telling you, M&M's had passed Reese's as the number one candy of the 2024 Halloween season as of about 10 days ago. So I have to do some research today and figure that out before tomorrow. So let's see, game times real quick. We're getting into the lane stuff. We know Georgia and Ole Miss start at 2:30 on ABC next week. That drew some ire from one Mr. Kiffin during the press conference yesterday.
Yeah, he had to have already known.
Oh, of course. Florida, Texas is going at 11 on ABC, so that comes right out of game day from an ABC standpoint. You got South Carolina, Vanderbilt at 3:15, SEC Network. That absolutely is where that was going to go. You have Alabama and LSU in Baton Rouge at 6:30 on ABC. You have Oklahoma and Missouri at either ESPN or SEC Network. They have not decided. It will be a night game either way, 6 or 6:45. And then the other game in that pairing is Mississippi State at Tennessee. That is your so two we don't know yet, and then everybody else got a time slot, 3 ABC games and an SEC Network game.
I mean, it went precisely as I expected it would go.
It did. Yeah, 100%.
I mean, I understand the ire and whatnot. This is right. Just the best. My mother always says, if you don't have something nice to say, don't say anything at all. That doesn't really work on podcast. You just sit there silently. I mean, I get it. I also get their decision. And if I were sitting in the room at ABC, if I had to make the decision yesterday, and I'm ABC, I'm going, all right, well, I got Alabama and LSU, and I know what it is. Neither of them play this week. So it's an elimination game. They both have 2 losses. Reality is they're both getting eliminated probably, but one of them's getting eliminated that night, and I can market this game that we have marketed forever and a day that always gets kaboom numbers. Or I can roll the dice. What if Georgia loses to Florida? What if Ole Miss loses to Arkansas? Now I've got a game that doesn't have a lot of juice. Ole Miss loses to Arkansas, and Ole Miss Georgia loses all the juice. All the juice. Literally all of it. And so it's a no-brainer from an ABC standpoint on if what I'm going for is the best one at primetime to get the night number, that's my safest bet. Now, if you promised me Georgia won and Ole Miss won and maybe looked really good and blew Arkansas out, I'd take that. But I can't get that promise ahead of the game. I'm probably doing what they did.
The couple things with it, and we'll talk about this when we get to Lane's answer when I'm going through some of his stuff here in a minute.
And I think, by the way, someone says the flex. I think they've already maxed out their flexes.
Well, I don't think they can 6-day window those 2 slots.
Right.
I think they can they could flex some other stuff. Now, why that contract makes it where you can't is dumb because it's all on the same damn network. Who gives a shit when you do it? That's stupid.
But apparently that's the deal.
I asked Keith about the number of 11 a.m. games last year. He said that he thinks that a home team can get 2 over the course of their 4. Ole Miss has those in Kentucky and Oklahoma. There's 2 things here that are a lot of the reasons why the ire is that, as we've talked about a ton, when it's up against LSU gets an abnormal amount of night games constantly.
They do.
And to the point that Matt Moscona now says it's because heat related. Like, Jesus Christ.
I don't know why everybody spins it. They do it because it always gets a big TV number, and they just.
But where you run into problems with some fan bases, such as Ole Miss right now, is that you're all this equal corporate. TV has gotten such a corporate partner that it's no longer a TV decision; it's an SEC decision, because they're so tightly wound that from an optics standpoint, that's how it comes off. Is the SEC is dictating this because they are so intertwined that right or wrong, that's how it looks and feels and kind of quacks like a duck, if you will. And while, yes, there's no doubt in this one instance that makes complete sense, I think a lot of the frustration lies is there's always a reason. You know what I mean? There's always this one reason why this is why we just had to do this time. Like, whoa. And it's like...
I mean... I get it. I understand why everybody's upset about it. I totally do. If everybody could have their way, nobody would play at 11 a.m. I mean, nobody would play at 11 a.m. voluntarily. No one can say, hey, you know what, let's do it. Let's play at 11. But you like the TV money. Now, I find the bitching about a 2:30 slot to be somewhat disingenuous in November.
Well, it's over the course of 4. You didn't get any after 2:30.
Right.
That's the rub. Now, there were 3 options because even if the Egg Bowl's at 6:30 on a Friday, that's not the same experience or situation because it's the Friday after Thanksgiving.
Right.
So you had one thrown in here because is what it is.
Right.
At that point. Yeah, and I mean, I think Quentin's right to a point. I mean, it's what I disagreed with Michael on that day is there is a certain amount of confirmation bias of we put this here every time and look at the numbers. It's like, well, yeah, but everything gets numbers there. Like that allows you to just say that because it always works.
I guess their argument is, would Vanderbilt, South Carolina get those numbers there?
Well, we're not talking about Vanderbilt, South Carolina.
Would Ole Miss, Arkansas get those numbers there?
Well, but we're talking about Ole Miss, Georgia.
What did the Ole Miss, Georgia game get last year?
I don't know. I'd have to look.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, this is one of those things where I bow out because I'm not emotionally attached to it the way a lot of fans are. I understand why they are. I bow out of this one typically.
I think it would be doable to give every team a one night game at least. Like, I just think that would make sense. Like, you can put the damn thing on SEC Network. It's not like it has to be on ABC. But, like, it makes sense to me to just – you could fix all this by going, hey, everybody's got an 11. Everybody's got a night game, and you got 2 to play with. figure it out.
Yeah, not to be a total, but Taylor's right. I mean, the Kentucky loss has. I was doing a 5 questions thing with.
It wouldn't have been at night even if they beat Kentucky.
You don't think?
No. Mm-mm.
If they're one loss Ole Miss?
Nope.
Okay.
No. Mm-mm. Not against LSU, Alabama. Against almost anything else, probably. But against that, no. Mm-mm. I don't.
The one thing that you do consistently see is that the networks, there's no question which game has more value to them, the 11 a.m. ABC game or the 6:45 SEC network game. Frankly, the nighttime SEC network game has become an afterthought to the TV people.
Oh, it's the irony of ironies for Ole Miss fans is they have gotten sunk in this because the networks don't respect them enough to give them the game, but they're so much better than that afterthought game that they just get hit in this purgatory of a middle of that. Yeah, they never fall into the SEC network game. So
yeah, I understand why fans do. I just have a hard time getting super worked up about it.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, I'm not.
And in this case, I completely understand ABC's decision. Yeah. If the goal is to put the biggest game at 6:30 from a numbers standpoint, it's kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah, no, it's not about this week. Really, yeah. It's in totality. And I'm not even really pushing back at Taylor, but he says 2 years ago, Alabama Ole Miss is at 2:30. Nobody complained. No, you're not complaining about a 2:30 in general. That's not the point. It's that over the course of 4, you have no night games. That was even Lane's point yesterday with whatever he was trying to pull off. And he was just kind of snippy there anyway.
He was snippy all day.
Yeah. He took a lot of shots yesterday.
Yeah, it was
some vague, not vague.
It was odd. Well, I'll be honest. I'm picking.
I actually took it as he was in a better mood.
Oh, really? I did.
Yeah, because I thought last week when he was just real drab, I thought, oh, because he's not doing anything. He's not even being himself at all. That at least felt more like himself in some ways.
Huh. Oh, I kind of went the other direction.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know.
I'm having to log back in to get to the content, so it's taking me a second. The site randomly logs me out now. Does it do you too?
What it does for me is when I'm loading content, it spins. And so I don't know whether the content
I'll lose it sometimes now too.
Yeah. I've learned that it usually got loaded, just X out of everything and go back in. Don't reload it again because then it loads twice.
So you thought, going into some of his answers here, you got what he said, what he meant up at rebelgrove.com. So we'll sort of do a bit of an audio version of that, a little bit, but read the content. Neal gave thoughts there. That is brought to you by My Perfect Franchise. So you thought even his Chris Paul very off the top was at somebody. He talked about Paul
100%.
being a great teammate,
100%.
working hard, said, hey, you got to quit doing the penalty thing, but hey, you're my guy.
When he finishes it like that, yes, absolutely. That was a shot at somebody. That was a message to somebody's.
Because he finished with, he's been great for us, and I love the energy he plays with. I discussed it today. He's got to make better decisions right at the end of his penalties, but he plays really hard and is a great teammate. That was his finish there.
And the way he said it was, and he's a great teammate. Huh. So who's not? I got some guesses.
Including one that he just continues to.
Well, there's two. I mean, there's an inconsistency on the Nolan thing.
Yeah,
we're beyond bizarre.
The more he answers it, the less it makes sense.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Okay, so I'm picking Ole Miss to win this game, and I'm picking them by 10.
All right, let's go find that one. I'll come back up to the other.
I'm picking them by 10. I was originally picking them by 14. Yesterday's press conference made me lower the number. It sounds like there's a lot going on. Now, in fairness, I think there's a lot going on at most places in this era. But there's some stuff going on here. I don't think this team has the same synergy as the one a year ago. Now, this team's more talented, and that might overcome that. But I don't think this team has the synergy that team has.
What I pointed out yesterday is that he does not brag on this team's culture or chemistry or them being together. And, I mean, it was a constant storyline last year. Completely constant storyline last year. And he just simply, it hasn't been the case here. I mean, it hasn't. And you mentioned Nolan. He was asked about Nolan's status. Again, I don't remember who asked the question, but phrased it in a way that did force somewhat of an answer. It was asked pretty well. And he says, I don't know yet. All we did was walk through on Monday, but he, as in Walter, said he was not able to go back in on Saturday. Hopefully, he'll be better this week. Hopefully, he'll be better.
I don't know what that means. So it's a messaging thing.
Because I said that was the one time. That was the one time on Saturday that I thought he was legitimately hurt. But yet, all the messaging has been that he could have gone back in.
Well, he was clearly hurt, and he came out for the third quarter walking without a helmet, with a limp.
Now, he might have told him at halftime, I'm not playing again, so take the helmet. I don't know.
800 things that I could not know.
Mm-hmm.
But based on what I saw, he looked like someone that the decision had been made, whether it was by him or medical staff or both or whatever, that he wasn't returning to the game. And at the time, Ole Miss trailed 14-10.
They did.
And I'm told, I didn't see it, but I'm told that there had been some stuff on the sidelines involving him in the second quarter. I don't know that to be true. And sometimes I just think he's an intense player.
My gut is he doesn't play Saturday. Gut. I know nothing.
Yeah, I know. I can't say I know nothing. I know. No, I can. I know nothing.
Yeah, I've been told a couple things, but I'm not even really factoring those things into my decision. I just have a weird inside feeling he's not going to play Saturday.
I've heard things that it's hard for me just to completely disregard, but I go in with no confidence that he's playing. And listen, we're approaching the point of the season, not just at Ole Miss, but everywhere in this era, where people start making some business decisions. Especially if you're going to be a high draft choice, you can give up a month of your NIL payment.
You don't even have to if it's injury related, because they aren't going to fight you on that.
True. But if you just decide and they fight you on it, you can give it up for a month. Hell, an agent will float it to you. You won't even lose it.
Mm-hmm. I think you're about to see, I don't mean Nolan, I don't even mean Ole Miss, but just that's bringing in a larger thought that I'm having. I think you're about to see some nagging injuries turn into injuries that just, they go, nope, out, pay me. And I'm sitting out the last month, and you're going to pay me the check, and I'm not going to tape it up and go like I would have at any other point.
Oh, I think that's going to happen everywhere. I think it's going to be one of the negatives.
And the school rolls its eyes and goes, that's crap, but what do you do?
What do you do? Because if you fight it publicly and it gets nasty publicly, it's going to impact your ability to recruit other people out of the portal, potentially. Because it's going to be fresh in November, December when guys are making decisions. So I think we're in an era when this is the first year of it, obviously, when if you were a team that the aspirations were the playoffs, when the playoffs become unlikely or completely out, guys go, okay, especially like if you're a guy that's got a Senior Bowl invitation in your back pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Is it worth it? I mean, if you evaluate it from what's the smart move here? Not the school spirit move. Just for myself personally, what's the smart move? Not the right move, the smart move. That's probably to preserve your health. Go to Mobile healthy. Because let me tell you who's going to be at the NFL, Chase. 32 NFL franchises, GMs, scouting personnel directors, head coaches. Hell, there might be some owners there. I mean, that is a showcase week, and that practice, that weigh-in on Monday, the practice on Tuesday and Wednesday in Mobile at Ladd Whitney Stadium is huge. Careers are changed those 2 days, and you need to be healthy.
And I don't even disagree. You're exactly right. It's exactly what's going to happen. I just sort of turns my stomach because that's such a slippery slope. And it's that point,
Sure.
stop after week 2. What's the difference? I mean,
Sure.
like,
But you've made a system that it's about making the playoffs, and if you don't make the playoffs, I mean, like, if you're okay, let's take this all the way out.
mm-hmm.
Let's use Walter Nolan as an example, and this isn't probably exactly fair to Walter Nolan. Let's use Walter Nolan and Trey Harris as examples, and there's probably 50 of those kind of guys around the country.
Sure.
Say Ole Miss doesn't make the playoff; they go 9-3.
Okay.
They get invited to the Citrus Bowl.
Okay.
Nobody in his right mind would advise Trey Harris to play in that game on January the 1st.
No.
In fact, anyone in his right mind in his camp would say you can't play. Jaden Daniels didn't play in that game last year. That was Nussmeier's debut.
And I think we're at a point where that's mostly even understood and PR-wise accepted. It's the regular season bowing out that I have a issue with.
I get it.
Because you signed up for 12.
You did.
Give me 12.
You did.
And then we'll figure it out. But again, I mean, it says here, when you make it all about money, it's all about money.
I get a lot of stuff wrong, but I got this one right. You've made it all about money, and now it's all about money. And so if you're a guy like Harris, if you're a guy like Walter Nolan, if you feel like you've proven your worth, and both of those guys probably have, and you've got an invite to the Senior Bowl in your back pocket, and both of them probably do, and your team's not going to make the playoffs, business decisions.
It's kind of what we're talking about. A lot of people in the stream seeing 3, 4, 5, 6 growing comments of nobody expects 9-3 because they expect if they lose to Georgia, they're going to lose to somebody else because you get opt-outs and guys that just don't quite show up the same way at that point.
I mean, sure. I mean, it's
very likely impossible.
I mean, in a world where Ole Miss beats Arkansas and loses to Georgia, I don't know how you put much juice on the Florida game. I mean, I don't. I would expect – now they have 2 weeks. If the Florida game were right after the Georgia game in that scenario, I'd like take the Gators. Just lay points, whatever you got. Take points, whatever you got to do. Maybe in 2 weeks you kind of can get people to, hey, let's do this. Let's finish strong.
Let's get to 9-3, give it a puncher's chance, blah, 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 blah.
Let's whatever. But
why is the Senior Bowl in Mobile?
It just always has been.
But, like, who got it there the first time? Why there?
I don't remember. I'm sure that story's been told many, many times. And I've
you
covered
never had
that
to write
game.
that one?
Not that one. Always just got.
Is Jim Nagy still running it?
Mm-hmm. It was Steve Hale for a long time, and then it was Jim. When I was down there, I just had to go cover it, find stories.
Well, I think Phil Savage ran the Senior Bowl. What did he do?
He did.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, he did for a while.
Yeah. All right. What's he doing now? Nothing.
Phil is a executive with the New York Jets.
Is he?
Like an advanced scouting, player personnel.
Okay.
I've seen Phil at a couple of games this year.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. He was at Ole Miss, Kentucky. I think Phil's mom went to Ole Miss. He was at Kentucky, and then I saw him on the road somewhere, maybe LSU. I can't remember.
Got a few other Lane Kiffin things, and we'll hit most of those. We've discussed the TV thing ad nauseum, so I'm sure we should go back to it. But the quote that struck it and made us talk about it was he was asked if playing at night is an advantage, and he says, I think that's proven in the NFL and in college. Playing at night is an electric atmosphere and a home field advantage, and it's tough when you have to do that as an opposing team. That's been proven for a long time. Who got to play at night? LSU gets to play again, I guess. Shocker. He didn't wait on an answer. He just said shocker after that. That's 2 for 2 for them. It is an advantage. I feel bad for our fans. Not having one night conference game is really unfortunate for them, so whatever. It's just really disappointing, but it is what it is. Also surprised you didn't pick up on one of the shots. You said you did not know who it was related to, but I thought that one was very obvious. We'll get to it.
I don't remember that game. I don't think I watched Auburn,
It wasn't
Oklahoma.
this week. Yeah, it was Auburn, Oklahoma.
Yeah, I don't think I ever watched that game.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote this. It's true. my game day is one game typically. I mean, I've been to every Ole Miss game, and so I'm at that game.
It's a 7-hour stretch.
And that's, I don't see a lot of the other games, and I just don't. And when I get home, I typically, that's just the last thing I want to do is turn on a football game.
Yeah. Podcast brought to you by the Ole Miss Athletics Foundation. We've been telling you for a while about baseball renewals that's underway right now. Those go through October 31st. Also, you can help. That's tomorrow, by the way, or 2 days from now. So you only have a few days left for those baseball renewals. And then the Ole Miss softball stadium, this season tickets ranging from $100 to $150 to start play at the new stadium. So for either of those things, you can go to OleMissTix.com, OleMissSports.com, or 662-915-7159.
Are you retiring soon? How long should you wait to take Social Security? What accounts should you pull from first? Are you already retired? Should you consider Roth conversions? These are just some of the questions that can only be answered with a personalized retirement income plan. Andrew Seago Wealth Management, specializes in helping folks just like you come up with their retirement game plan. It's rebelsretire.com, rebelsretire.com. Grenada Home Center has paints by Benjamin Moore, Pittsburgh Paints, Farrell Calhoun, flooring of any and all types, stone countertops, granite, quartz, whatever you're looking for, window treatments from plantation shutters to whatever else suits your fancy. It's Grenada Home Center, 1301 Sunset Drive, Suite H in Grenada. Call them at 662-226-3127. Arnett's Fine Jewelry is a fourth-generation jeweler located in the old Lammon's Jewelry Building on North Lamar Avenue in Oxford. They offer pretty much everything you could be looking for in jewelry, engagement rings, of course, wedding bands, stackable diamonds, stone bands, pearls, genuine color stones, diamond jewelry, and more. Great for gifts. Speaking of Christmas, less than 2 months away. So start thinking about that. And at Arnett's, they want to be your jeweler. We're also brought to you by the College Corner. If you're heading up next weekend for the Georgia game, there's basketball. There's a lot going on. You're starting to get your Christmas gift giving ideas in mind. You can handle all of that at the College Corner, right in the Oxford Commons, right off of Sisk Avenue. More than 4,000 square feet of the best Rebel gear. Plenty of parking available. Their staff will have you in and out and ready for the Grove, ready for Vaught Hemingway in no time. Check them out at collegecornerstore.com. They also have 2 locations in the Jackson area. When you work with Argent Wealth's 401k advisory services, you gain a valuable advisory team and time-saving resource that will help you develop and maintain a solid strategy for your retirement plan. They're committed to providing you with the personalized attention and involvement that you want and need. Their goal is to help you manage your 401k plan properly and ultimately improve your employees' retirement readiness. It's myargentwealth.com. And we're brought to you by John Edwards, Regency Travel Incorporated in Memphis. If you're trying to plan a special trip that creates a lifetime of unique memories, get in touch with John. Give him some parameters, give him a budget. He'll give you options that you're probably not going to find on your own. 901-494-3387 or jedwards@regencytravel.net.
I guess also brought to you by the Men's Clinic that's in Madison and Brandon. In Madison, 601-607-7869. Their mission is to help patients realize the absolute best version of themselves. They want their patients to remain as healthy and as strong as possible throughout the aging process. They do this by optimizing testosterone, improving sleep, reducing inflammation, treating insulin resistance, and much more. That's themanthing.com. Remember, just like myself, you can make your first appointment, go down, see them, and then they can manage a lot of it remotely, except for the blood work you need to get down and get every so often to take care of yourself. I'm a couple weeks now into my own regimen. I'll update you as time goes on with that. So again, that's themanthing.com in Madison and Brandon. Austin, why is CBS getting a pass from most media people for making a terrible decision? They went from the best college football game to the third best Big Ten game. Thanks for the super chat. I don't think they're getting a pass. I think in the people that do the media columns like Richard Deesh and some of those people, they've gotten hammered pretty good. They pointed out, that whole story I read last week with Stuart Mandel pointing out how good the CBS deal was for them in the SEC and how now they're frankly being left behind. They had one of the top 10 games in college football through whatever week that was.
Yeah, I think they've been flogged by most media people. I don't think they've gotten a free pass at all. I don't know what else you're going to do. Shut down the network. I'd be for it, but that's probably not realistic. So they are paying the price for it.
every week.
But I don't know what else anybody can say.
You just sort of shrug.
Nanny boo boo. I mean, you screwed up. I mean, everybody knows you screwed up, and you got to.
You had the best deal, and you were kind of arrogant about it for a long time.
Well, they were incredibly arrogant about it.
And then now,
if they had been smart, it would have been like a Major League Baseball team like the Braves. I've got a player on an undervalued contract. Now, I can hold him to that contract, and he's stuck.
And he'll be here for however long.
But he's going to start getting pissed off. And when he does, and the Yankees offer him some big deal, I'm going to lose him for nothing. Now, what I should do is go call his agent and go, hey, your guy's not getting as much as he should.
But recognize my flexibility here.
The Yankees might give him $400 million in 5 years. What if I give him $200 million now? We fix this. Still get a value, and I still keep the player. And now the player is ingratiated. He's like, "Hey, I love
They're
this.
recognizing my value.
I
they
love
like
this.
me.
I love this tomahawk across my chest."
Yeah.
And now you got something. And that's what CBS should have gone to the SEC and went, "Hey, look, we want to do this for a long time. We know your rights are coming up in a few years. Let's do something. Yeah. Let's make this work." And the league probably would have said bird in the hand and done it. But they didn't. And you know the rest.
And now ABC just counting their money.
Sure.
And they're paying a lot for their money.
One TV timeout at a time.
Well, they're getting all the value. Did you watch the Monday night game last night?
I did not.
Oh, you were gone. You were busy.
And I came home and went, right. I didn't turn the TV on. I came home and got on my computer because I was behind.
Time did you get home? 9.
9. Worked till 11.
Let's ask a very generic question about the offensive line yesterday. And he got very specific with his answer yesterday.
Crazy.
I
mean, if you had doubts, now you don't.
He said the pass pro is really good. The one sack was really Jackson's fault. And one holding penalty that had really been an issue, especially on the right side. So that was good to see. I mean, he didn't just like flash a light over there for you to maybe catch it. I mean, he took the magnifying glass and the flashlight and just honed in right on Micah Pettis. Just right there.
Just.
Whew.
Wow. See, I don't think these are good signs. That's just me.
No.
I'm sorry. Maybe I'm missing. And I'll admit, I'm not a trash talk guy. I don't like trolling. I don't troll. I don't like trolling. And so some of this stuff might be a generational old man yelling at the clouds.
But it's internal, not external. The external thing I kind of laugh at and go, that's who Lane is. And that's when he's sort of juiced a little bit. But he's taking shots at his own players. And not in the subtle way of, hey, I'm just speaking to you here.
Yeah.
I mean, that was right at Pettis. The Nolan thing is odd.
Yes.
At minimum.
Yes.
Like.
The Paul thing where he says he's a great teammate.
What's wrong?
I'm making sure we're good. We're good. The Paul thing where he says making sure, he's a teammate, whatever. Okay, that's subtle.
That's light.
And maybe somebody needed to hear it. But,
we've been dealing with all those penalties on the right side, and that was good to see.
Yeah, just
it thinks you're right about the move into guard, the different things, because it's, hey, this is a position and a spot that we simply are not.
Yeah. They wanted him to move inside. He doesn't want to. Hasn't wanted to. And so if I'm Micah today, right, I mean, realistically, I'm not going to the NFL right now. I can get in the portal.
I move inside and try to up my NFL value, swallow my pride.
Yeah, I just don't know. But now it feels like, okay, we've made it personal.
Because I do think he's a guard at the next level, if anything. He has not shown an ability to play right tackle in the NFL yet.
No.
Just his feet aren't moving.
Can't move his feet, and he's got a knee thing. Again. careful what you wish for in this era. That's all I'm saying. I'm not. And people misinterpret that and go, you don't think the players should get paid. I've never once said that.
No, it just means that it brings in critiques and criticism to a different level, and whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, and I think I wrote that yesterday.
You're a freelance employee right now. You're not an employee inside the program, but you're a freelance employee for that team.
Yeah. Oh, you're basically a 1099.
So thus,
I don't know what he makes, but he makes something. So coaches can call you out.
And then that really long answer, I think the longest by word answer he gave was about the depth on the defensive line on really Saturday, but all season to this point. And he mentioned the sacks. He made sure to say some positives about the Mississippi high school kids, because you've got some of those in that bunch actually in that group that are from the state.
Yeah,
they've gotten good minutes from a lot of those guys. They're gonna be counting on them next year for damn sure when they sort of flip it over and whatever they need.
Yeah,
in that defensive line room. And then he talked about trusting them to the point that has bogged down the offense in the fourth quarter, but that's something that has been a strategy for them and a way of trying to win the game. He talked about not trying to cover the line.
And then he went back to the LSU game. It's so on his mind.
He thought he had it, and
it's just eating him alive. Been 3 weeks.
But yes, the Auburn shade was, he says, we're not trying to cover the spread. And when you look at that team and why you lose that game, which someone else did, being ahead and throwing the ball, now there's a pick six against them, and now you're losing at home.
They hate each other. So I totally get it. I mean, it's fine. I just didn't know, and I just didn't know who he was referencing. I knew he was referencing something.
But as you're seeing all over the stream, I mean, when you're 6-2, it's not as funny. Fans aren't finding it as funny. I don't care, but fans are not finding it as funny. They're not laughing at some of the barbs right now.
Which tells you that they set expectations. Expectations got set that this team would have one loss or no losses at this point. That this was, and Lane referenced that again yesterday. That's on his mind. He said it Saturday, said it Monday. It's on his mind. Expectations around here.
He did.
He's sensitive to it.
He softened on it like 10%, just little softened.
He started, if you go back and look, he started on the Monday after the LSU game where he made a comment that someone who's been around here for a long time said it's a good thing that people are upset over.
That's right.
Remember that? I mean, this has been a thing for a minute.
Been percolating.
Mm-hmm. So it's interesting just to, again, I think Ole Miss is considerably better than Arkansas. I've seen both teams play in person.
Yeah.
I think Ole Miss is better than Arkansas. But there's the mental part of this. I'd almost rather be on Arkansas side Saturday.
Well, there's no doubt from a mental side because there's no pressure.
None. No, they get to go play. It's kind of if they win, if you're Arkansas and you win, you're 6 wins.
Yeah.
Might slip into the back end of the poll. You get a week off before you finish with a 3-game series that suddenly isn't as daunting as you thought it would be. You got Texas at home. Texas looks mortal. You get Louisiana Tech at home. It's a game you should win. And then you go to Missouri. And Missouri, if there's no Brady Cook, Missouri's not winning. And Brady Cook's got a wrist injury that is problematic. So suddenly, if you're Arkansas, this is kind of a free shot. And if you lose it, your season's not ruined because you can still get to 6-7 wins. If you're Ole Miss, the pressure's on you completely. 100% of it is on you. Because if you lose, it's night-night.
And we mean that in every way.
I mean, night-night.
Yeah. I mean,
and so it's fascinating. The psychology of that is fascinating. I don't know whether that will serve as a motivating thing for Ole Miss and they'll come out and play like on fire, or whether it's going to make them tight. The longer that game goes, the more if it's close, the more you start going, okay, well, let's see what the pressure, how they handle this pressure. I just don't know.
I mean, Doris hits it on the head within 3 points in the stream. Says that in general, the overall expectations have changed at Ole Miss. It's what you want, but you got to be able to handle what you asked for. 2011, you told me we go 17-4, and I'm signing my soul away in blood. Now I'm like, we suck.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are 17-4 in their last 21. Not shitty.
No, I mean, I
very good.
I've actually thought about going through if I can take. I need about an hour to do it, but go through and look at everybody's schedule over the last 21 games and compare. I'm sure Georgia's better.
Georgia, Bama,
Texas probably better. Bama's probably about where you are.
Yeah, and Missouri's right there somewhere.
But because they've lost.
They might be exactly where you are.
They're exactly where you are. And their fans are the same way.
Yeah.
So it's no secret. Gabe DeArmond's a really good friend of mine. He now covers Missouri for 247. Gabe and I will talk frequently, and he's always like, we're covering the same program.
Grind says, remember I asked y'all what position groups would overachieve, underachieve, and do about the same relative expectations. We said defensive line would overachieve, wide receiver would underachieve, and OL would do about the same. Has that been right?
Well, defensive line is definitely overachieved.
And wideouts would underachieve.
Underachieved, and frankly, the offensive line's been about what it was a year ago, which was just average.
Yeah.
It was just fine.
But they've been worse. I think
they've been the same. I think
they don't have Judkins.
I think the difference is that we bought in, or I don't know that we did. I didn't know. But there was this fan thing and I think this is media driven. I think it's two particular outlets in particular, that every time Ole Miss got anyone out of the portal, it didn't matter who it was. They could literally have never heard of the person before. And the next day, that is the best player in the country at that position, which is obviously horseshit. And I think we did it with 3 linemen. Oh, God, that's a game changer. If I'd asked that person the day before, who is Julius Buelow, they would not have been able to tell me. Who is Nate Kalepo? Who is Jerquan Scott? They would not have been able to tell me. But those people got added, and it's like, look, Diego Pounds. I remember people talking about Diego Pounds like that was the game-changing offensive lineman. I'm not picking on the kid, but I mean, he's fine. He's a good player. But he's not an elite left tackle.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I mean, it was one thing when you add Walter Nolan and Princely Imani Allen and Pooh Paul.
Sure.
You knew those were impact players.
Yeah.
Trey Amos.
You knew you were going to
You were getting a guy that was playing key snaps at Alabama in the national semifinal.
Yeah.
You knew what you were getting, but sometimes you added these other people. And it's like, oh, look. And it was like, you don't even know who that is.
I mean, like Amos. He hasn't had a carry.
Not literally nothing. He's done nothing.
Yeah,
yes. And people turn that into, oh, look at this.
He had 1,200 yards at Miami of Ohio or whatever it was.
Well, the MAC's not the SEC. And you also have a coaching
And you
staff.
sort of in your head, you did this, oh, well, in October, they get Diggs. I haven't seen Logan Diggs. The rumor is he had to have a second surgery. I do not know that. I do not know that. I do not know that.
I don't
But
know.
that has been
I've not had
going around.
anyone tell me, hey, his arrival is imminent. It is rare for a guy with an ACL injury in January to come back and play that season.
Yes.
It happens. It's rare.
The best case scenario was, sometime in October. Well, I mean, that's best case. I mean, that's just.
Yeah.
And it's running back. You're moving.
And are you really going to put him in now? I mean, let's just say he was, quote, ready, end quote. Are you really putting him in today? Hasn't had a carry and no real practice time. You're not going full contact in practice. I mean, it's just not a realistic thing.
And I do agree with Austin there. Whatever the reason, Dart running less has made them less effective in offense. He gave them an extra dimension when he ran the football, and he simply isn't doing it this season. The why, I'm not smart enough to tell you. But he hasn't. It doesn't look the same. He doesn't have as many design runs or keepers or whatnot. And maybe teams are RPO in that. No, that's a Siski question. I don't know. I can ask him. But sort of the way that the way it looks, that's how it's come across. So
I don't know. I don't know why he's not running more. Maybe it's because they've told him not to run more. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah. Podcast brought to you in part by G&M Pharmacy, 662-236-2222. They deliver locally in the Oxford area, and they offer medicine for your prescriptions the same day each month. Take care of you. Whether one trip to the pharmacy or one delivery of everything you need when you need it with G&M. It's also easy to transfer your medications. One phone call, they take care of the rest. So again, that is in Holly Springs with Tyson Drugs or Oxford with G&M, 662-236-2222.
Get the beautiful, healthy smile you deserve at Corinth Dental. Dr. Bubba McQueen, Dr. Jenny Beth Hendrick are devoted to restoring and enhancing the natural beauty of your smile using conservative, state-of-the-art procedures that will result in a beautiful, long-lasting smile. From routine checkups to advanced treatment, including implants and Invisalign, Corinth Dental is here to help you achieve your smile goals. Schedule your appointment today. Take the first step toward a better version of yourself. It's corinthdental.com. We've referenced what he said, what he meant a couple of times. That's brought to you by Andy Ludicky at myperfectfranchise.net. Andy owns multiple franchises and businesses. He uses his expertise to help others find their American dream through a very thorough and free consultation process. So call Andy, put your life and your career in your own hands. It's 100% free. You've got nothing to lose. Find your perfect franchise at myperfectfranchise.net or contact Andy anytime at 404-973-9901. I'll have a mailbag to you tomorrow. It's brought to you by Art Hayes, Sotheby's International Realty. Are you thinking of making a move? Put the power of Sotheby's to work for you as a licensed agent with Sotheby's and a supporter of all things Ole Miss. Art can help you buy or sell in your hometown at no cost to you. Seriously. So call and ask him how. 612-805-5929 or email him at arthur.hayes@lakesmn.com. We'll have Picks Up Thursday. That's brought to you by Kaiser Flooring with locations in Batesville and Oxford. Kaiser Flooring provides outstanding quality flooring products and installation services to residential and commercial properties. Kaiser carries the best in hardwood, laminate, vinyl, and tile flooring, as well as carpeting. Their goal is to offer amazing, durable flooring products and superior services to make your life easier. Learn more at kaiserflooring.com or call them in Oxford or Batesville. I'll be taping with Pete Deweese tonight. Pete's Pigskin Preview brought to you by Meadowbrook Wealth Advisors of Raymond James. It's a full-service investment team based in Jackson, providing financial planning and investment management to clients across the state and surrounding areas. Ryan Geary and his partners are a local team that utilize the strength and resources of a national firm to bring their clients an impeccable level of service. This includes access to investment strategies and portfolio managers not available to all investors. If you're interested in a no-obligation consultation or just want to be added to their monthly market emailed list, reach out to Ryan Geary with Meadowbrook Wealth Advisors of Raymond James, 601-368-2215, or ryan.geary@raymondjames.com. Raymond James and Associates Incorporated, member New York Stock Exchange, SIPC.
Podcast is brought to you by Johnson Hill Creamery. JohnsonHillCreamery.com is the website to go see all their offerings, including their tailgate packages. When Ole Miss returns home next week against Georgia, again, that can all be purchased right there online. That is feeds 10, 20, or 40, depending on whatever you need. Tons of sandwich trays, artisanal cheese trays. They got charcuterie boards, which are my favorite, and much more. You can pick up the Friday or Saturday of game day from Chicory Market. That's where we're located now. You can go in, just shop around, see their cheeses they make locally and in-house every day, as long as all their other accompanying products as well. So, again, that's JohnsonHillCreamery.com. Yeah, 3-0 Dodgers right now. So the baseball season can end tonight at Yankee Stadium. Freddie Freeman has hit a home run in 5 straight World Series games, dating back to the final game of the Braves clincher when he was in Atlanta. So he is the clear-cut MVP right now if this series were to end anytime soon. And on the other side of this, Aaron Judge, we talked about him coming in, that he had a really bad postseason. He has been a really bad career postseason player, and he is 1 for 12 with 7 strikeouts in the World Series to date for Mr. Judge.
Yeah, there's rumblings in New York that this will be the end of Aaron Boone.
Oh, losing a World Series.
Losing a World Series. Expectations.
What's like I saw?
You know, it shows you it's across the board. Expectations, payroll. It's not to get it back to Ole Miss necessarily, but it's part of the deal. There's a perception among fans that we paid for a top 5 team. By God, we deserve a top 5 team. And when you don't get the top 5 team, something's got to pay for it. It happens in pro sports. You're the Yankees. You have this massive payroll. You're paid to win the World Series. And when you don't win the World Series, it's failure. As absurd as that is, that's where we
Getting
are.
fired for
And
losing
so
the
you
World
fire
Series.
people. Someone has to pay for it. I'm not wrong.
It has been nice. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I am. It's been nice sort of having the Yankees back in the postseason. Like, it just feels comfortable.
Sure.
Like, again, it's been 15 years. Ralph Russo, who covered the AP forever, but he's worked for the Athletic now. He left the AP. He made
Russo left the AP?
Yeah, he works for the Athletic now.
No shit.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
Wow.
He made mention of people acting like the Yankees not having a World Series game in 15 years was this huge, long, mega streak in the end of the world. He's like, that's what makes the franchise so unlikable. And I don't really agree. I don't think that's true at all. I think we're just so used to the fabric of that's where their expectations were. Because here's the truth. I went down there was a picture that was going around before game 1 of the World Series, and it was Brian Cashman talking to Boris about Juan Soto. They were doing it literally in the stands at Dodger Stadium before the game. And I went to look at Cashman's kind of career because I don't know. I went down one of those Wikipedia internet rabbit holes for a minute. And he's been the Yankees GM since 1998. It shows how well respected he is that he was not fired from that 2009 to 2024 run, frankly. Or even in the 2000 to 2009, what they would see is a fall off after those huge Jeter Rivera teams and whatnot. He has survived multiple eras where I think there are a lot of franchises that would have fired the GM, even being well regarded at that point.
Yeah, I think his relationship with the Steinbrenner family is such that firing him is difficult.
Mm-hmm. And he kind of does whatever they want him to do in a way. He spends their money.
Well, and he's also kind of the commissioner a little bit. He takes the hits. A lot of media. Yankees
That's
are
true.
Yankees.
They get folks in the door every day.
You're gonna get beat up. It's kind of like being the coach at Alabama. It ain't easy every day. You got to be able to roll with it a little bit. He basically has. You know, the rumor is Soto to the Dodgers. Did you hear that one?
At that point,
I'll be honest. At that point, I think it's not that I won't watch baseball anymore, but like if it gets to that place, that's just not fun.
I mean, they had Soto too.
I mean, so you have Ohtani and you have Yamamoto and you have Freeman and you have Betts. And so you just add Soto. Why not?
The entire country will pull against you and just pray you don't win a World Series.
Yeah. It's one of the reasons the NFL has been. The NFL's not that way. You can't do that in the NFL. And in the NBA, people have done it a couple of times and people didn't like it. Like when Kevin Durant went to the Warriors, that people generally didn't like that.
Baseball is such a hot at the right time deal. Like firing somebody over not winning the World Series is incredible.
Well, it wouldn't happen in any other market, but it happened in that market. The Mets were good. They lost to the Dodgers.
And it's accumulative. They've been a little weird for a while.
Yeah.
It's not just this season.
Well, you know, getting a little older. You've built around Judge, it's not fair. Playoff sample sizes are so small. And then, you know, Soto might leave. Like I was talking last night to a fellow Cubs fan, and we were being totally serious. If I'm the Cubs, I'll offer him $800 million. I don't think I'll get him, but it's worth it.
$800 million.
I would. Make him the highest paid player in the game. You're in Chicago, it'd pay for itself.
You're serious, aren't
I'm
you?
totally serious. Offer him a 15-year deal worth $800 million. Defer some of it, whatever. It'll be worth it. You'll pay for it on the back end a little bit, but sure. And so that's probably what the Dodgers will do. They'll give him some monumental contract. And Ohtani's, you know, they're punting this where 30 years from now, they're gambling that salary caps will be 5 times what they are today, and it won't really matter. But it won't be their problem, and they'll have trophies in the foyer.
Chandler makes a good point. Yankees did fire their last manager after Game 7 of the ALCS. So, yeah, it's not like it's a new thing.
Again, it's expectations. I think it's you can tell that I'm already kind of in my mind working on the column. Like, how do I write this? And it's about the expectations and who set them. And the Yankees set those expectations when they went out and made those deals. They put a team together and said, this is to win the World Series. Ole Miss did the whole last dance thing, and I don't really know what it means. And it's one of the questions I'd love to ask, but I don't really want to ask it in a group setting where it's 500. That's why I'll never probably get to ask it. 500 people immediately tweet it out. And you never even really get a chance to kind of marinate on whatever the answer is.
Speaking of, Tyler Kepner noting would be the word, that no World Series that started 3-0 has even gone to a Game 5 since 1970. That is when the Reds won Game 4 in Baltimore before losing in Game 5. So there have been sweeps anytime there have been a 3-0 head start since 1970.
Well, the parallels are wild. Kirk Gibson hit the home run in, was it 88?
It was 88.
Off Eckersley. That led to an unlikely Dodgers sweep of the A's. Freeman hits the home run in Game 1 off of, I guess it was Cortez, which is not the same, obviously, as Eckersley, but it appears that's on the cusp of leading to a sweep in 2024.
The Giants swept the Tigers in 2012, last time you've had a sweep. The Red Sox swept the Rockies in 2007. The White Sox swept the Astros in 2005. The Red Sox swept the Cardinals in 2004 after the 4-3 comeback.
I remember that. That was nice.
From the Yankees.
I enjoyed that, yeah.
Did you? The Yankees swept the Padres.
Because I was still quite bitter in 2004. So when the Cardinals made the World Series, I was like, oh no. And so when the Red Sox swept them, I was at least you put a little sugar in my cyanide. Thank you.
Yankees swept the Braves in 1999. Yankees swept the Padres in 1998. The Yankees had a three-year stretch from 98 to 2000 where they won the World Series all 3 seasons and went 12-1 in the World Series those 3 years. 4-0, 4-0, 4-1.
Pretty good run.
It's not a bad run. It's pretty good. The Reds in 90 swept. The A's in 89 swept. 76, Reds over Yankees. Orioles over Dodgers in 66. So, yeah, never mind. 70 was the last one. So, yeah, we've run back through the gamut there.
Yeah, if you're the Yankees, it's kind of hard to get super jacked tonight, isn't it? Got to go win 4 in a row against that juggernaut.
Probably not likely.
It'll be tough to do.
And Garrett Cole's falling off. He's older. I mean, it's a reset.
Yeah, in a place that's hard to reset. And look, resets have to be marketed correctly or else they can be disastrous. Resets require a level of transparency that most people in sports just can't do. I mean, it's Sam Presti writing the thing in the Oklahoman that explains, hey, here's what's about to happen. Mm-hmm. It's Theo Epstein saying, we're about to suck. And anybody who doesn't suck, we're probably going to trade them.
Yeah.
This is going to be painful. And by the way, I'm doing this the day after the Cardinals just won the World Series.
Yeah, I get it.
So, yeah. Here's your cyanide. Wash it down with this rubbing alcohol. This is not going to be fun. That's exactly what happened. That's hard to do. Most people are unwilling to do it. It will be fast. I'm not talking about Ole Miss here. It will be fascinating in college football circles. Missouri, Alabama, LSU. When those teams kind of get eliminated and they start getting, like the question gets asked in a post game. Because look, let's say, again, I think Ole Miss is winning Saturday. But in a world where Ole Miss lost Saturday, okay, Lane, you're almost certainly eliminated from playoff contention at this point. What does that do to the rest of your season? What does that mean for your program today? That is a really difficult question to ask. He's going to look at you with, I don't know. Why are you asking me this? It's too fresh. And then you're going to get some word salad answer, maybe, or we might get a real answer. And then it gets asked again on Monday where they want to go, hey, our focus is on Georgia. And everybody in that scenario would know this is a total lie.
Mm-hmm.
This is spin. The loser of the Alabama-LSU game next Saturday is going to get this question. You're not making the playoffs. What now? What happened? That doesn't typically happen in college sports.
No, because at 9-3, you're probably still in access. And it's
Yeah,
whatever.
you're still good. You can spin it. Hey, we're going to the Peach Bowl.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's era's done, and it's a new thing, and it's going to be interesting to hear how people handle it. Eli Drinkwitz should frankly get that question now. His team's not going to the playoff. And as absurd as a lot of people thought it was, and they were right, the expectation around that program was that they were going to be a playoff team.
Yeah.
And he said, well, we're not as talented as I thought we would be, and which begs the question, why not?
Mm-hmm.
Did you misevaluate in the portal? What did you do? I mean, there's a different level of autopsy that's going to get done on these seasons, and I think it's going to make people really uncomfortable.
All right, we'll leave it there for the day. We'll be back tomorrow morning. It will be Halloween in some parts of Lafayette County tomorrow, and then obviously on the 31st for the rest of the world. So take care. RebelGrove.com in the meantime. Good bit of coverage up there. More coming. A lot of stuff on MPW Digital. Be safe, and we'll talk to you again on Wednesday.